Good morning, everyone. We are one-on-one with Daniela. Good morning. How are you doing this morning or
I'm
afternoon
good.
for in your case?
Yes, afternoon for me. Really good, really good.
Awesome. I'm Dusty Pate. I am with Inside Out Institute. I'm a certified emotion code practitioner. And today I am so fortunate to be interviewing Daniela, who helps people achieve clarity and peace and understanding through her energy and spiritual work. She was born and raised in Colombia and she moved to America, but now she's based out of Sweden. She's offering online healing courses, one-to-one energetic soul readings, and she even leads her own signature 90-day mastermind on own your authenticity. I always mess that word up. She's also the co-founder of the Mystic Home and co-host of the Mystic Podcast. And which the Mystic Podcast is a weekly offering where she shares her experiences, bridging the gap between your everyday life and spiritual selves. So, how's your Tuesday going today?
Pretty well.
Pretty
Pretty
well.
slow and nice.
It's calm there. Hopefully, your weather is better than ours. I'm in Texas and we have a hurricane headed towards us. So, yay.
Yeah, it sounds like I am in better conditions over here. Oh my goodness.
It's okay. We take it. It's no big deal. So tell us about your journey. How did you get started on this whole entire path?
Yeah, thank you for asking, and thank you, first of all, for having me here and for spending this time together. And yeah, the question of how I started this path, there is many little initiations in my journey, in my life, but I believe that the one that really spiked things up, it started when it was the end of the year, and I had to work the holidays and the New Year's Eve and all that. And I decided that after that, I was going to fly and see my family who was in North Carolina. So I was going to go see them for a week. And I was on the plane. I got on the plane to go see them. It's a short flight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the flight and I get the window, which I'm really excited. So I'm sitting in the window and we take off. And by, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes in the flight, the attendant comes in and he says, we're going down.
Oh,
And, you know, when that happened, I just looked next to me to this guy that was sitting next to me, and we just both look at each other and just kind of like realize that this was probably like what he said, we're going down.
this is the end.
This is
Yeah.
this is it, right? So it's like, okay, so how does this work? What do you do? And in that moment, you realize, okay, have probably 10 minutes until the ground. I see through the window and I see that we're rapidly descending. And it was pretty quickly. It was not like how do you say, like, oh, well, and then they explained to you. They didn't explain anything to us. We're just pretty much, you feel the gravity in your feet going down because, it's really happening. So I was like, all right, okay. So I have probably 10 to 8 minutes to live. And what is going on?
Right.
And at the time, right? And at the time, you go through stages, as people say on your death experiences. You go through through stages of acceptance of like, okay, this is it. I probably have just a few minutes to live at this point. And your life just flashes through in front of you, and then you start to realize of all the things that you've done, and especially the things that you haven't done.
Right.
And you come to this point of acceptance, and you say, okay, my life so far, it's definitely not what I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
At that time for me especially, was not what I wanted it to be. I was really lost. I was doing things, wasting my time, wasting my energy, just kind of playing it super safe and super just, relaxed, and thinking that I had all the time in the world to someday figure out what I was going to do. So that's what was at the time. And at that time, I had to make this like promise to myself and to the universe that if if I were to make it alive, I made this promise. And like I said, I was not, today I live in Sweden with the love of my life, and I'm creating a six-figure company, helping people change their lives and successfully helping humanity to transition in this times of energetic movement and activation, and such a beautiful time to be alive. But like I said, this is not where I was when I was in this plane. Absolutely not at all. So today, what I get to do today is started that moment in the plane when we were going down, and I started to notice, okay, this is definitely not what I want with my life. But you come to an acceptance of, okay, but I've done what I could. And for me, I hope that when I share this story, that doesn't take for people to go through this experience to wake up and say, okay, there's more that you can do. There's, things that are waiting for you to claim and to really do what you're supposed to do. So after I was just accepting what my life was at the moment, I said, okay, accepted. I did my best. But if I get a chance to live, I promise to live to my fullest potential. I promise to do the things that I just keep putting off. I promise to, to say what I have to say and to share what I have to share and to really do my part and to really start to live. And of course, we made it. I'm here. So
you made it.
London, right? Yes. So it all worked out. And, after that, like I said, I've created an amazing.
And that was just this past year around the holidays?
No. So this was a few years back. So I think it's about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good.
So then, of course, thank you. I've made it. But the first thing that happens when I got off the plane was that I was like, okay, I did make it. And I hope, again, that this doesn't take for people to go through this experience to say, I made it. I'm here today. I woke up and I'm here and this is my mission. And how am I going to play on that? So for me, it was to start investing in myself, to start doing the healing that I was postponing, to start to say no to the shit that, sorry for cursing, but to the stuff that was not taking me anywhere, and to really just go directly to my mission. So after then, I just invested in myself. I learned from the people that I needed to learn. I did the things that I wanted. I quit my job. I moved countries. I did all that I needed to do, that I continue to do every day, to not play it safe and to really be the person that I'm meant to be. So in a summary, this near-death experience was really what kickstarted my whole company and my whole beingness into the understanding that we don't have all the time in the world, and that it's very precious every minute that we get in this planet.
Yeah, and realistically, it shouldn't take a near-death experience for us to wake up. So hearing stories like yours, obviously, that's great, because we can see that, it does take that for some people to really kickstart. But then it's amazing the outcome afterwards of how things get better and how you can start living the life that you were meant to live. But what we all need to take from that is we don't have to wait till something like that. You hear stories about people getting diagnosed with cancer. You got 1 year to live. And that last year is when they really start living and doing the things. Why should we have to wait till that situation occurs? So that's the awesome thing about hearing stories like yours. And then the fact that you're leading people to healing, so that they don't have to wait. They don't have to wait for their plane to be coming down, for the doctor to walk in with a diagnosis before they just wake up and go, oh my gosh, I'm not doing the things I've wanted. I've been living inside this little box, scared. So now I need to break free from that. So you work obviously on spiritual healing, just general healing. Can you explain how that works? What a person would see or feel, or like the measures that are necessary to work on that process?
Thank you for asking. And it's a very broad question. So I'm going to try to see if I can get to what you're wanting to hear, or not what you're wanting to hear, but what you're trying to understand. And when it comes to energy healing, it's pretty much, so the way I'm seeing the world and the way I work is that everything is energy. So we are energy beings and everything around us is energy.
I agree.
So, right? So then based on that, energy healing, it's pretty much like if we are energies, and energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed. So
Right.
energy healing is transforming the energies to optimize your system, to optimize your ability to show up and your ability to be and your ability not only to yes be but receive other energies that come, because it's a constant navigation and relationship with other energies. So one of the things that you mentioned before we jumped online or live in this call was about the energy of money. So just in general, talking about energy healing, because that's also an energy, depending on how our system is running energetically, then it's able to play or relate to that energy of money. So
Right.
when it comes to energy healing, it's pretty much the relationship to everything around you as it is energy. And the way I see it, because I'm very visual, is that I see that it's like construction site when I work on people energetically, because what we do is we go and we move things and we adjust things and we move them around. So we optimize as a software, the optimization and the ability for that program, quote unquote, to
Quote
run
unquote.
smoothly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I feel the same way, that we're just this energy embodied in a physical thing, and that obviously our beliefs and what we've been taught can kind of limit what we feel we're capable of. So that kind of lowers our energy level down, so that we're not accepting of the bigger stuff like abundance. We can't attract it. We can't exchange with it if we can't relate to it, because we're not on the same level. So I totally agree with you there. What do you think are maybe the top 4 things that keep people from healing, that kind of slow us down, that are, blocks, if you will?
So I believe that what keeps people from healing is mainly, the first thing that I would say is themselves.
Yeah.
What keeps people from healing is their shadow part saying, if you heal, this will happen, or what will you find out if you heal? What would you find out about yourself, and what would others find out about yourself? And the other thing is that what keeps us stuck as well is the payoff of our current reality. So what happens is, like, a lot of people are like, but I want all these things and I want to be better and I want all these things. But if you want all these things for that to happen, that means that you have to show up differently. That means that,
Yes.
you have to be about a different person in a way. And the payoff of staying in your reality as you currently see it is that you're probably most likely benefiting from it, whether it is that you're very comfortable, whether it is that you're not willing to risk certain things, or you think that you need to risk and you need to sacrifice other things. So the way I see it, when we talk about sabotage and inability to heal, what I ask people is, what is your payoff of what you're currently living? Like, why are you holding on to it so tight? Because it's usually, we, like, as humans, are always about pain. Like, we move through the avoidance of pain. So if we think that we will avoid pain by staying in our current reality, we will not heal. We will not move forward.
No, I agree. I agree. Yeah, we get comfortable with the everyday, even though we might complain all the time about, I don't like this about my life, I don't like this about my relationships. But I know for myself, sometimes seems more uncomfortable to step away from that particular situation that I don't like. And that fear of change or the unknown, I'd much rather just stay over here where it's comfortable, because then I don't have to worry about the what ifs. Even though I'm miserable and I'm not happy and I don't like the current circumstances, that's too scary. I don't know what the outcome's going to be, which I think basically boils down to having this feeling of control, at least for myself. I'm a little
Yes,
bit of a
or the
control freak.
illusion of the control, correct? Because
Exactly.
at the end of the day, the unknown is every second. I mean, the unknown is, we live in the unknown. We've never
Right.
lived in the known. There is just not a thing. It's the illusion of living in the known.
Yeah, we see repetitive patterns, but that doesn't mean like tomorrow when you get up in your car and you drive the same route to work, that it's going to be the same as it was yesterday. There's going to be a new car on the side of the road. God forbid, you have a little fender bender. It's all unknown. And that's just your normal daily routine, let alone stepping outside of your box and trying to heal, or like in your case, walking away from your job. This life event occurred and you're like, not going to do it. I have a different plan. Not sure what the details are, but I'm going for it. And look at you now. But most of us, yeah, there's too many unknowns. And I think it's difficult to, probably the older you get. I'm not a young whippersnapper, but you have children and you've got bills and you've got other things. So sometimes that healing shows you that you need to be doing something else. But if you change really big changes, how's that going to affect everybody else in your life, especially, with kids and stuff? But it's still very important task to do.
Absolutely.
So how would you suggest people really try to find how to live very authentically, like true to themselves? Like what would be one of the first steps? Like myself, but Dusty, you need to get on the path. Here's what you need to do. How to be more true to yourself. What would you suggest I do, or the people listening would do?
Right. Two things I'm currently thinking about sharing with you. And the first thing is that, first of all, acknowledge that you're currently where you are and you're currently creating what you're creating because you're avoiding pain. So how powerful are you? So, because I think it's really hard to move on when we are in the avoidance or in the hate towards our current reality. We need to be in peace with our current reality in order to move forward. So what I would say is to ask yourself, what have I created this way? Why am I here so far? And what is this giving me right now?
Right.
And when you understand that that's what you're creating for yourself, you're understanding that you're always looking out for yourself. You're always, your best cheerleader. You're protecting yourself. And that is such a loving path, instead of being like, oh, I'm awful and I've created this and, I don't love myself. None of that, right? So then instead understanding, how is my current reality supporting me and why is my payoff? And is that ultimately true? Because sometimes it's just the brain, how it works, that it creates illusions and it's hard for us to comprehend what is real to what is not.
Right.
So that's the first thing that I would say, is to ask yourself, what is your current reality giving you and providing for you and assuring? And then from that, the next thing that I would say is talking about how to be more true to yourself and how authentically move through the world. First of all, time for yourself so that you can get to listen. Because I cannot come and tell you this is the 3 keys to get to your authenticity. I can tell you the bones and the structures of it, but at the end of the day, it's really the basics of everything is to listen to your inner voice. Because usually, and especially nowadays, when there is so many examples of how to go and be authentic, how to create, how to be successful, all these things, we're always trying to recreate somebody else's path.
Right.
And in that recreation, no, exactly, because in that recreation, then we're killing the authenticity. Right. So the first thing is to trust your ways, but how do we trust our ways if we don't know what our way is? And that would be silence, and that would be listening, and that would be receptivity to what your body and your soul and your highest self is already telling you.
That's where meditation would come into play.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very much so. Meditation, prayer, just general focusing and calming the brain. I know mine is always moving very fast. So, but the meditation
Same here.
does help. It helps kind of center you and helps give you a sense of faith. I know a lot of people like to hear that word, depending on how they were raised. And it's true. I mean, you've got to have faith in something bigger, higher self, however you want to look at it. We've just got to have faith in that and know that we were here for a reason. We were meant for a purpose. We just got to get out of our own way, basically shut up and listen, and then just kind of follow that path, not knowing what's going to happen. Let go of that false illusion of control and just trust the process, and that we will be taken care of. If we're going in the right direction, it will all work out in the long run. And I don't know that everybody can have that kind of faith. They need to work on that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I think but I think that is the scared, like really scared of okay, if I finally step into who I am and I do what my soul is actually telling me to do, am I going to be supported? But what people don't understand is that once you're acting from that place, when you are showing up and acting accordingly from that place, and this is not controversial thought or topic, but just hear me out. So once you start to act from that place in alignment, you are going to need less in order to be happy. You're going to need less in order to already be happy. So people talk to me about manifestation, and I say manifestation is literally quantum leaping, meaning it can happen instantly. Oh, but I don't see that in my account, or oh, I don't see my house, showing up. And I said, but let's think about really what is it that thing, whatever that thing is outside of yourself, is going to make you feel like. And to know that you have access to that today, right now in this moment, that is a choice to choose to feel that way already, meaning you're already manifested what you wanted, because what you really wanted was a feeling, was a state of energetic match to whatever was going to match the outside world. So in that regard, once you start to act in alignment, when you start to act from your soul, what happens is that, yes, abundance is going to come, absolutely. But how is it going to come? Is because it's going to match the vibration in which you are at the moment. And that vibration is going to be alignment, is going to be peace, is going to be exploration, surprise, delight, passion, ease, flow. All of these things that are really the behind the scenes of what people are saying. I want to manifest din, 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 or da, 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 actually is these codes of how they want to feel. So in terms of like, is it going to work if I, technically, will I be supported if I take the jump? And the thing is, if you trust 100%, meaning if you go for it and you live in that alignment, even if it takes a little longer to be a millionaire, if that's what you want to do, you're going to be in a path of happiness, in a path of peace, in a path of fulfillment while you get to that physical manifestation. Yeah.
And then, the support people, I know for myself that I worry, am I going to be supported by my family and stuff? And the thing we've got to understand is if we find that peace inside, the support's going to come, not necessarily from your family or your friends, but that support may come in other measures that we don't already foresee. So when I'm talking about outside support, like, I'm worried my friends are going to like this. Well, guess what? Those friends may not like it, but you're going to meet new people who are supportive, who are on the same path, journey, so to speak, same alignment. And then I love what you said about the fact that, while we're trying to, become that millionaire, or, okay, I need to focus and get this job I want so that I can be X. Did I lose you?
I still hear you.
Sorry. Are you still there?
Yes.
Can you hear me? I hope we're not having internet issues.
I still hear you.
Must be the
internet. I think your video is coming back slowly.
Give it just a sec. Anyways, sorry, people. That is part of technical difficulties. Hopefully, we'll come back. And no, it's not raining. Okay. Well, we're back.
Yay.
I guess my internet just kind of went poof. Who knows? The wind might be blowing, starting to pick up for the weather issues. Anyways, I love what you were saying about the fact that moving forward, that as we think we need these outside things and that we'll feel a certain way, ultimately, once we get there, we realize actually, like you said, we actually need less. It wasn't really about that outside goal or tangible object or job position. It really has to do more with what we wanted to feel. I love the way you put that because it is so true. And I think that's where people get worked up about, speaking of the money, oh, we're going to get greedy, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, not really. Money is just a representation of the energy you have already expended. Like you go to work, you spend your hours, your energy, that you get a paycheck for it. That is your energy. You're just getting it back so that you can then give it away in another realm to go buy your groceries or whatever. So it's just a shared energy. And as we move up on that energy level, we should expect more money, so to speak. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not getting greedy because I want more money, but the purpose is now I can use that to share again, maybe help support somebody who needs assistance. If I don't have the means available to me, like having the money, how can I support or provide or serve others if I don't have that available? I think the problem is some people just get too wrapped up on the thought that, oh, if I have money, I'm going to be greedy. But that's not true. It comes from in here on how you handle that money.
Yeah. Yeah, because the thing is, like, the energy is neutral, right? It really depends on how we relate. So it's more about understanding of our relationship with it, how much power we're giving it, how much unknown is it around that energy and how it gets to be in your life, because ultimately you get to decide how it gets to be. And I think I want to reflect back some of the things that you say about support from friends and from family and from things like that. I have a few things to say on that, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
And
go right ahead.
What I want to say, the first thing is, as you say, will that support me? It's going to be more people to come and things like that. And this is the thing. As we awaken, as we decided to come in this world and awaken at a certain point, we decide to do that in a way that affects the collective. Everything that we do, even though we are so egocentric, because we are our own world and we are the universe, and it's okay to be egocentric in that sense. But the thing is that our awakening, it's not, yes, it is for us, but it's really for the collective ultimately, yes, because we are the collective. So as we are the collective, whatever happens to us affects everybody else. So as we start to move in our life from when we, when we were born to the minute or we are today, we decided to ascend, or meaning to heal, at very strategic points. And as we do that, the people that are around us, meaning our parents, our kids, our family members, our close friends, we've decided, like, nothing is really a coincidence. Everything is synchronicity. So as we decide to heal and to awaken, what we do is we triggered people around us to do the same for them. And right, it is not our job to fix them, it is our job to awaken to what we are and let them have their reaction or their opinion or their whatever it is that they want to say, because it is their own evolution and you're doing your part on healing.
Mm-hmm.
So then allow them to do their part on being not with you or against it, or because it's their own way of awakening to that trigger that you're putting on them. Does that make sense? And that doesn't have to be necessarily
seed, so to speak, and how they
for
respond
them.
to it is their own journey, their own way of dealing with it. So
exactly.
It's not that, me doing something new and they don't support me is necessarily a negative thing. It's they're seeing, oh, wow. And they just may not be able to process it on the same level.
Totally. Yeah. And that is okay, because like I said, it's not our job to make them accept us, to make them like it, to make them love you or love them, because it is just is. It is love. It is unconditional. It is existence. So when it comes saying on that is to know that, yes, as you are in your path and as you awaken, you'll find your people, you'll find the people that understand what you're saying and what you're going through and what you are allowing in your life. But don't think that because these other people are not supporting you, they're not being part of your path. They are, just in their own way. And they are, as much as you're triggering them, they're triggering something of you that also needs to move forward.
That's true. Yes, very true. Because usually whatever they're triggering, you might be a negative reaction, which is usually a reflection of something you need to work on inside yourself.
Absolutely.
So awesome. You have a program that you offer to people. It's called Return to Wholeness. Could you kind of give us a little tidbit on that, on just kind of what that is? That way, if anybody is interested in checking it out and getting with you about that, they have at least a baseline details about it.
Absolutely. I have different programs, and Return to Wholeness specifically is a program that I did for people that have not done much work in the inner healing, or they have done a lot of work in the inner healing, but just want that constant reminder. So Return to Wholeness is very accessible to everybody. And the idea is to in subtle ways, awaken the three major centers of their bodies energetically, so that they can open up to new opportunities, to new realities, to new ways of being, and of course, to who they are. So Return to Wholeness is a month program, and each week they get meditations to unblock a specific area of their body. And then they also get a meditation to upgrade the specific area of your body. So we concentrate on three major areas. And then we also, what we do is we understand what does that mean and how does that acting out in our reality. Because like I said, if everything is energy, everything that our body has an energetic either blockage or stagnation, whatever it is, will reflect out in the physical reality. And for us humans, it's easier to see it in the physical reality than it is to see it inside.
Right.
So what we do in Return to Wholeness, and we start to understand how are those energies reflecting outside, and then at the same time, site construction inside to optimize the system
and build up. That's awesome. Well, you have a website. I'm going to show this real quick. It's is that correct? Yes. I copy pasted. And you can go to Daniela's website. She's got a lot of information there. She's got links to like the podcast. She's got links to show you her services. There's a lot of good information there. If you want to follow her on Instagram, here's her Instagram handle, if you will. I am Daniela. How do you pronounce your last name?
Arango. Arango.
Arango. That's Colombian, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why I can't say it. All right. So anyways, is there anything else you would like to share as we kind of wrap up today? This has been awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. It's been really lovely. I always love to just have open conversations where we can get to see what comes through and how the conversation goes, because I feel that it's always the best way for the listeners to get inside tips and information and all these things. So I thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been really nice talking to you.
It's been wonderful. I'm going to let you get back to your day. Enjoy the weather. It looks like it's probably sunny over there. And I will prep for rain. So it'll be a good day, though, nonetheless. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And again, if you want more information, by all means, check out Daniela's website. It's right there at the bottom. And I will also have links. This will be able to be replayed on YouTube as well as Facebook. And we'll have it on there later as well. And if you guys have any questions, by all means, you can direct message me. You can try contacting Daniela herself, and we'll go from there. You guys have a lovely day. I will talk to y'all later.